Hello and welcome back everybody to Pushblock Gaming. We have another Multiversus tier list coming up today. Patch 0.1 dropped, the open beta is fully released, and so we're going to go over some of the best and worst characters in the game now that we've had a little more time for the meta to develop. As usual with this list, we're going to be starting from the bottom of the tier list and working our way up. But remember, these are opinions. This is for the 2v2 game mode, so, tell me what you feel in the comments. Remember to be respectful. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So starting at the bottom of our tier list is going to be Taz right now in the C tier. Taz is a character that was really strong at the start of the open beta with Tornado and some of those moves having crazy knockback and a lot of kill power. But outside of that, he didn't have a lot of utility. And now that they've gone ahead and nerfed that move, made it shorter duration, have less kill power, all kinds of things, he really is not as relevant in this 2v2 meta. The meta really consists of a lot of long range and projectile characters, and those are all things that can be a lot of Taz's weaknesses right now. The next character I'm going to throw into our 2v2 is going to be Iron Giant. He's someone that everyone got really mad at me about last video, saying he's way better than that last spot in the game, and so I moved him up one here. I agree he's better than Taz. He has a lot of really good things he can do when he's not being bounced around like a pinball between the other two players. He's such a big body, he gets hit by everything. As people get better with their combos and their team combos, he just becomes a little bit worse. They also went ahead and bug fixed a lot of the things that were considered his best strengths, like his down special, his down air combos. A lot of things are gone from his game now, but I'm still going to go ahead and put him one spot above Taz. The last character in our C tier is going to be Garnet. She's a character that was considered borderline top tier before, has a lot of really good tools, but is another slower and bigger character that can kind of struggle in this meta. That's kind of the theme between these three, is that they have slower movement speed, that can struggle with projectiles, and ultimately she doesn't have quite the strengths as the rest of the cast currently in the 2v2 meta, so she's going to fall down to the C tier. So jumping into our B tier, these are going to be the middle of the pack characters, the characters that are viable and good, but not quite as great as everyone else. And so to start that tier off, we're going to start off with Shaggy. Shaggy is kind of the epitome of this. He is balanced. He has some really good kill options, some good combos, can buff his teammate, has a lot of good things going for him, but he's still not an overwhelming character in very many aspects, and so he's going to sit here at the bottom of the B tier. After Shaggy, we're going to go ahead and put Jake into our B tier. He's another character that a lot of people think is really strong, and I don't even disagree. His side air, with the stretchy capabilities it has, is an insane move. But ultimately, I think at higher levels of play, he falls off a little bit, as his moves can be a little more predictable and easier to work around. But he still has really good kill power, has great combos with down air, and can be a useful asset to a lot of teams. Next character in our B tier is going to be our newest character in the game, Lebron James. LeBron is a really unique character with the way his basketball works. He can throw it to his teammates. He can lose it and get a whole new moveset. He's got a ton of things going for him and a really high skill ceiling, I think. But it takes a lot of effort from both the player that is playing LeBron and their teammate to be able to make it work. And I think right now, it just seems like a lot to get going with the amount of chaos that's going on in the doubles meta. In a slower paced meta where you can really potentially get his setups and do some crazier things, I think he could be more relevant. But right now, a lot of his moves, he kind of doesn't have the same kill power or just easy utility that a lot of these other characters do have. Another character in our B tier is going to be Steven Universe. Steven is another really strong character. The first support on our list has the ability to shield his allies, even bring in the Watermelon Steven as a third fighter for their team. Can create platforms with his shields that are really helpful and do extra damage. He has a lot of really good things going for him. A decent boxing game, some projectiles, a lot of things he can really do for the team. But ultimately, once again, he's kind of slower, a little more floaty, and so he doesn't necessarily move around the stage fast enough to keep up with the movement in this current meta. So he is probably at the top side of this B tier and could be even higher, but right now he's going to stick into this spot. Last character in our B tier is going to be Superman, sitting at the top of this middle tier. Superman is a character with insane movement. The way his air dodges work, he can be all over the screen, he can command grab and get some of the earliest kills in the game, provide team utility with things like his frost breath and lasers. He really has a lot going for him, but at the same time, he does have that mobility, but he doesn't have enough going on in terms of small hits. It takes a lot of commitment to swing or to go for one of these grabs, and so he can get punished really easily, being one of the higher risk reward characters in the game, in my opinion. And now we have hit the A tier. These are the characters that I begin to consider meta. These are the ones that if you are trying to win, these are going to be your mains. And to start that off, we will go with Harley Quinn. A lot of people have been downplaying her a little bit, as she has gotten nerfed from the closed alpha. But she's still really good. She has a lot of setup tools to make the screen such a hazard to play on for the other team. She has kill options off of the top. She can do team combos with her neutral special bomb, things like that. And she also has an insane combo game at times. So there's really a lot going for her, and I think over time she'll continue to do really well in this meta. After that, we have another assassin with Arya Stark. Arya is a really strong character. I'm not trying to downplay her here. I think she has insane combos, and even in a team setup, there are things she can do with her side special, the Thrown Dagger, that can get kills earlier than almost anyone besides Superman. And so she has a lot going for her, and she's very quick, but she's also the lightest character in the game and can die really easily in this doubles format right now. So being able to avoid all these things takes a lot of skill, but also finding combo opportunities, getting the most out of your combos in such a chaotic meta right now is kind of hard to do. Then we have another really strong character here that is crazy about how many good characters we have in this game. Wonder Woman is also going to be in the A tier. Wonder Woman's just solid all around. She has good big hitboxes. She can shield her allies, block projectiles, give them armor, cover them with lasso, and as well as help juggle and do things very easily. She has a good all-around kit, but she doesn't really excel at anything. She kind of rounds out just about any team comp compared with almost any other character in the game, but she also doesn't do anything well enough on her own to stand out towards the very top of this list. Our next spot in the A tier is going to be our second support, Raindog. Sorry about saying Raindog before. Raindog is doing really well right now. Raindog actually won the first big invitational Justice League with Sainume and Leviathan playing Raindog, paired with Batman. So it was a pretty good team combo, and his ability to save his teammates, play safe, have decent combos and kill power, all while providing support from across the screen. It's a thing that right now in this sort of projectile meta we have is really valuable. And I don't think he's the best projectile user or the best support in the game, but his role is still extremely valuable. He's a really good character. Next, we have another projectile-based character, our first mage on the list, Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry, really strong character, both up air and down air have so much priority, big hitboxes, can kill, as well as I think in the doubles meta, Tom and Jerry kind of play the role of a disruptor a lot of times. He can shoot Jerry from across the screen, shoot the dynamite that splits into 3 with his perk and sort of break up enemy combos, or edge guard or go for follow-ups without any risk. He definitely has a lot of those good things. He also can set up across stage with his trap on the ground. He can do a lot of things from far away, which right now is a really strong thing. As well as having really good kill power, puts him up towards the top of this list. After that, we're actually going to have Batman. Batman's a character that has done really well. Like I said earlier, he actually won the Justice League Invitational with Sainume playing Batman, and he's shown out to be really strong right now. There's some people, he has some bad glitches, and some people think he's not quite this good, but his results say otherwise. His combo game is impeccable. Batarang is amazing in neutral. There's a lot he can do and kill off the top. I think Batman is just one of the better characters in the game. The real thing holding him back in my eyes is how light of a character he is. That's one thing I could see them fixing in the future, alongside his grapple bug fixes. Our last character in A tier is going to be Velma. Velma has been a character that is sitting towards the top of this meta for a long time now. She is the best support in the game. She has a little bit of it all. She has really good combo game close up. She has great buffs for her teammate being able to heal, provide gray health, cooldown reduction, or even give projectiles that the ally can then use themselves. There's so much going on with Velma's game that she really kind of does it all right now, and a lot of time in this meta, the whole thing is chased down the Velma. She's become a really central part of the meta. She is extremely good and extremely played at almost every level currently, so she sits at the top of this A tier only with one character in front of her. Speaking of one character being left, I left one character behind, and that is Finn the Human. Finn, I think, is really strong, great frame data, incredible speed, has the ability to buff his allies' speed and give them armor on charged moves, is able to kill really early off the top with up special. In general, he's just kind of the peak assassin currently in Multiversus. The amount of speed and the quick frame data he has, how fast his moves can come out and how safe they are. Some of the early combos he has, all kinds of things really just lead to him being extremely good and well-rounded and can fit in just about any team comp. And then lastly, we have Bugs up here in S tier. If you've been watching competitive Multiverses, you know what's been going down here. Bugs has looked incredibly insane. He has touch of death combos out of Nair. He has a bajillion tools in his kit to be able to zone off enemies, secure kills, and do everything. One thing I think I've noticed personally in competitive play is that his down special, the Burrow, has been really useful just to regain stage control or run away when they're chasing you down. Alongside the fact that he can then use it for gimmicks with both Safe and his Rocket to secure early KOs and just provide another level of mind games that no one else in the game can. He also has basically the best juggle game in all of Multiverses and can kill off the top, He has a really good spike, really good side airs as well. So he just kind of has everything you need in a character currently, and there's not much of a reason not to play him if you're playing Multiversus. So there you have it. There is our finished Multiversus tier list for the 2v2 format, all the way from our C tier up to our S tier. You know, even with the addition of LeBron, we have a pretty well balanced game here, with the meta shifting a couple of characters down there at the bottom out of it, but there are 17 characters currently, and 14 of them I believe are extremely viable, so you should play whoever you want to, and it'll be a fun time. But yeah, so if you have any concerns, questions, comments, or want to tell me how wrong I am, feel free to do that in the comments or over on my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/DJ8. And stay tuned for more Multiversus content.